Well, this year, Voice of America's Straight Talk Africa hit a milestone, 10 years on the air. Here's a look at some of what makes Straight Talk so unique.
Hello, I am Shaka Ssali. Growing up in that...
Straight Talk is a show that tries to connect with the ordinary people back in Africa.
We're looking for the story in Africa that week.
And held a mock election.
Straight Talk Africa began in the year 2000. It was the Africa Division's first television program.
There were a core group of 3 or 4 of us.
Thank you.
It took a lot to put the show together. The cameraman, the studio people, other show producers, the people who ran the time clocks, the people who did the chyrons, the graphics.
We were in Studio 18. It was a radio studio with television cameras added. It was marrying 2 related but not identical concepts. And the result was Straight Talk Africa.
Hello, welcome to Straight Talk Africa, live from the Voice of America studios here in Washington.
Initially, of course, we were getting into what you would say is uncharted territory. We didn't know, for example, the audience would react or respond to what we were trying to do.
We didn't have much clout because people didn't know who we were, so to try and get influential guests was very difficult at the time. It worked because Shaka was such a good host and he knew so many people.
So I did them.
Before hosting the show, I had done a lot of work on the continent. I was reasonably well informed as far as the history, the culture, the politics, the economics of the continent.
Political independence, which is back in 1957.
As we expanded our storylines and our realms, the show grew.
What do you expect out of this?
When I was back in Uganda, I watched the very first show. I was like, you know what, this is something that Africans have been looking forward to.
What about your critics, Mr. President, who will disagree with you and say your policies simply have not delivered the economic goods?
Because at the time, there were a couple talk shows, but there was nothing that was really dedicated to talking about the issues.
Issues that affect people on a daily basis.
To vote for independence?
We're talking about, for example, the democratization process, the struggle for human rights.
Since 2005, we have been assured that there is going to be an election. No election.
A lot of things, frankly, that, people rarely have an opportunity to be able to have a dialogue or to have a conversation.
Wow. Now, with us is Straight Talk Africa host Shaka Ssali. Ndugu.
Well, Ndugu, Vincent.
It's been a time of your life. What can we say? 10 years have just gone by like that.
I have to say that it looks like yesterday, and I think that I've been incredibly blessed. But before I go into it, frankly, I would like to once again say that I am profoundly honored and exceedingly humbled to have the opportunity to be on your show again. Because the last time, frankly, that we interacted, I think I was in Ghana with Jerry Rawlings coming from the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum.
That's all right. We remember that, and we are very honored to have you with us in this show.
It's always a pleasure.
It's always an honor. It's always an honor, Shaka. And of course, you know, as you reflect back on your 10 years, what do you think has been the key, the glue that has kept Straight Talk Africa going, for one, and made it such a success? You know, you hear a lot of people talking about Straight Talk Africa.
A lot of things. I think part of the reason probably why the program has succeeded is first and foremost because initially I told myself it was sort of a challenge that if I was going to succeed, I was going to first and foremost succeed at remaining authentically Shaka Ssali.
Which you are.
Right.
And I think that has really made a difference. Those are the types of emails that I get back. It has given me an opportunity to connect with folks back home, the mother continent. They see themselves in me just as much as I see myself in them.
Now, Ndugu, that has been a long time. We can't possibly go over everything you did. But if you can think just from the top of your head, what are some of the highlights, some of the things that you remember so vividly from your 10 years hosting this show?
You are quite correct, Vincent. It's very difficult, frankly, to
narrow it down to a couple of, you know, shows and what have you, but there are some. For example, the first show. I mean, let's face it. I had butterflies. I didn't know exactly how it was going to pan out. The VOA director, Sandy Anga, was in the studio. Mana Whitworth, the director of programming, was right there. And I had your homeboy, Professor Gilbert Kadiegara, who was then teaching at Johns Hopkins University's School of Advanced International Studies. And so we were able to walk through the continent, looking at the democratization process. That you have to always remember. It's like the first jump. When I was in the military as a paratrooper, the first jump, frankly, is something that you can never, you know, get away from.
It's going to uncharted waters.
There's no question about it. Yeah, and of course it succeeded because there hasn't been much promoting, advertising, and what have you. We were able still to get 6 telephone calls from the African continent. Wow. Can you believe that?
That's amazing.
And then, of course, 2001, August 2001, I believe it was the last week, just before 9/11. Guess what? Ugandan opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, he has escaped. No one knows where he is. What happens? I get a call from someone that I will not mention his name, from a third-party country, asking me to hold on. There is someone who is interested in talking to me.
Oh.
Who comes on the air, Vincent Dumuyake? It is Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, retired, but suddenly not tired. Then I say, wait a minute, man, where are you? He says, don't worry about that. I said, I want to be the first guy to carry your voice. Is it possible? He said, don't worry about that, because in fact, I am coming, I'm heading towards your direction.
Now that was something. And you know, time is not our best ally right now. And it looks like that's all we have.
Unfortunately.
And coincidentally, you're wearing the colors that you launched your first show with. So I guess
that is very true. I was also reminded by Keith that they are actually reflections of my alma mater, UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Ndogo, for being here with us. And that's our show today.